Hello everyone, welcome back to the BIO202 course. In this chapter, we're going to continue talking about animal diversity and specifically about protostomes. So as you said before, protostomes can be either Lophotrochozoa or Agdissozoa, sorry. In this chapter, we're going to talk about the different phyla under each category of protostomes and their specific characteristics. So let's start with Lophotrochozoans. Lophotrochozoans live mainly in water and utilizes their body movement by either contraction of the muscles in them or by cilia movement. Also, their embryo divides by spiral cleavage. Why? Because obviously because they are protostomes. And as I said, protostomes divide by spiral cleavage, whereas deuterostomes divide by radial cleavage. Lophotrochozoans has two characteristic structures, which are trochophores and lophophore. A trochophore is a free-living larva with a band of cilia around the top and near the mouth. Okay, and the lophophore is a feeding structure that has a horseshoe-shaped crown that's made up of ciliated tentacles, and these tentacles aid in the filtering food and allowing the passage of food into the mouth, as you can see here. So this is the trochophore structure, and this is the lophophore structure. Now, the other category, as I said, are ecdysozoans. Ecdysozoans are animals that mold and thus undergo ecdysis. And the mean here is that they shed their exoskeleton, their chitin exoskeleton, and form a completely new one. They do so because the exoskeleton that they have, the chitin exoskeleton, is tough and it would prevent further development and further growth of the insect mainly or of the animal in general. So they shed this, they get rid of the old small exoskeleton and they start forming a new bigger one that can accommodate their increase in size. And they are divided into two groups, the arthropods and the nematodes. So let's start by discussing the phylums of the Lophotrochozoans. So the first phylum is the phylum Platinhelminths, okay, or more commonly known as flatworms. Flatworms are acoelomate animals. They are soft-bodied and ciliated. They have an incomplete digestive cavity, but they are solid in structure. Some of them are free-living. They live in marine, in moist and terrestrial environment, and in freshwater. And other species are parasitic as well, so they live inside animals and they feed on these animals. Despite having simple body without a circulatory or respiratory system, they have a quite complex reproductive system. And this include tapeworms, marine and freshwater planarians, and parasitic flukes. Also, there's only one opening for the digestive cavity, okay, in flatworms. So they excrete and ingest food from the same opening. So food can be ingested as well, and the food is actually more ripped in at the level of the pharynx, where we have strong muscular contraction. Much of the metabolic waste is then disposed by the gut into the mouth, where it's going to be transferred out of the body. So the absence, okay, of a circulatory system has allowed or has pushed the flatworm to do the following. The flatworm undergo or exchange gas or transport gas by diffusion through its body, and the gut also plays a vital role in food distribution and digestion instead, so it plays the role of the circulatory system. Some particles are also digested extracellularly and absorbed directly, and also cells absorb particles by phagocytosis instead of diffusion. Tapeworms, which are the parasitic worms, and we can see them here now. Here they are found, or they are screened from. Sorry for that. They are screened from an intestine. So these parasitic worms take food through the body walls because they do not have digestive system. Okay, so they diffuse food from the host animal into their bodies through the walls, okay, of their body. The second phylum that we're going to talk about is the phylum Rotifera, okay, or most commonly known as wheel beaters. These animals are pseudocoelomates. They are unsegmented and they have a bilateral symmetry, as we can see here. Also, these animals are generally small in size, 50 to 500 micrometers long, and they have complex internal organs. Also, they have a rigid cytoskeleton and an extensive pseudocoelom that acts as a hydrostatic cytoskeleton. Okay, so the pseudocoelom that they have act as a hydrostatic skeleton. They also known as wheel animals, as you said, because of the corona structure that they have. And the corona structure is actually a clearly visible ring of cilia at the anterior end of the animal. Okay, so these cilia are going to wiggle in a way or move in a way to allow the transport of food and materials, okay, into the mouth of the animal. When we look at them, we can think that they are moving. We have a rotation, but it's actually not rotation. It's actually moving in a way that allows us to see it like that. And because of that, they are known as wheel animals. The lifespan is usually short. They only last for 1 to 2 weeks, although some of them can last for a longer way as a desiccated and inactive state on the leaves until rain comes. When the leaf is wet, then they can come active and feed on the film of water that surrounds the leaf. The third phylum is the phylum Mollusca. Mollusca is a very diverse phylum. It's the second diverse phylum next to arthropods. Arthropod is the most diverse phylum. We have more than 150,000 species, okay, that belong to the phylum Mollusca. They are coelomates, but their coelom is kind of reduced to a hemocoelom, and because their coelom is actually opened to the outer part, okay, of the body. It's open to the exterior, okay. So because of that, they are called a hemicoelom, because as we know, a coelom is completely closed. Some have also a shell and others don't, like for example the snails and the slugs. Snails have shells whereas slugs don't. There is a wide variation of this phylum, okay, and examples of animals that show how diverse this phylum is are the following. The flame scallop, which is a filter feeder. This is a flame scallop. The common octopus, which was known as Octopus vulgaris, which is a hazardous octopus to human beings because he has a sharp beak that can deliver a poisonous bite. Okay, we have also the Nautiluses, which existed for a very long time before dinosaurs and is still existing till today. And then we have the slug, the banana slug, which is commonly known as Areolemax columbianus, which is the second largest slug in the world that can reach up to 25 centimeters. Additional features of this phylum are the trochophore larva. The larva has a trochophore shape and it has a huge variety. Okay, it can range from microscopic sizes to enormous sizes, like for example the clams, sorry, that weighs more than 270 kgs. They have developed in the oceans, and most of them stayed there, and they form a vital human source for humans, and they also affect us economically. For example, pearls are made on oysters. Okay, so oysters made us pearls. Also, the material nacre, which is the mother of pearl, originates from mollusk shells, most notably that of the abalone. The material is used for decorating objects. Also, pests have invaded many North American freshwater ecosystems like zebra mussels. I'm going to stop here. This is all for this section. In the next section, we're going to continue discussing the phylum of the um, um, of the Lophotrochozoans, and then we're going to talk more into ecdysozoans. Okay. Have a great day. All. Goodbye.